With Samoa Joe revealing how he got medically cleared to compete on NXT and some speculating that WWE is behind the AEW Domino's debacle, this is Wrestling Up. My name is John and you're watching the Wrestling Report for July 31st. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Up and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Jon Moxley will be at the New Japan Resurgence event with a surprise partner to take on the Good Brothers Gallows and Anderson, as he said. I just wanted to send a message real quick to NJPW. Wherever my travels take me, you can be damn sure of one thing: I will settle scores that need settling. Whether it takes weeks, days, hours, years, I will eventually get you. I will settle the score. I got a little bit of business with these Bullet Club guys, and I was just thinking, you know, on the 14th, I got a buddy of mine meeting him in LA for some beers. Why don't we make it a 2-for-1? Good Brothers, Gallows, Anderson, you meet me at Resurgence in LA and I'll have a surprise for you if you got the balls between the two of you. The event is set for August 14th at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. Paige had to prematurely retire from wrestling in 2017 due to neck issues. She recently took to Twitter to give an update on her neck, saying, "You guys, I'm getting stronger, squatting 185 pounds again. I know it's not a ton, but it's a big accomplishment for me who was worried to do any gym stuff because of my neck. But my neck is feeling so awesome. I'm so proud of myself." Beth Phoenix would reply, "This is huge. Numbers don't matter. How you feel does. Congrats, young lady." The likes of Edge and Daniel Bryan have made returns to in-ring action despite career-threatening injuries, so hopefully Paige will be able to get between the ropes down the line. Margot Robbie, who plays Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad, talked to Bianca Belair during an interview revealing she is a big Undertaker fan. "I really have an issue with this misconception that women aren't excited by or don't like action or fight scenes or anything. I mean, I watched WWE growing up and my favorite was The Undertaker and John Cena, by the way, so it was crazy working with him. But imagine if I'd grown up watching you, Bianca Belair, on screen. Imagine what I would have thought I was capable of doing had I grown up seeing women do all the things that I loved watching men do." Taker would take to Twitter to reply, writing, "The Deadman and Harley Quinn sounds like a hell of a tag team. When it comes to a match, these two teaming does not seem likely given Taker is retired. Still, a movie could see these two stars in action together." Rey Mysterio is a global phenomenon with a ton of fans, but one went too far recently. A fan uploaded photos of him with Rey as Mysterio signed a replica belt for him. What caused controversy online was the fan admitting he went to Mysterio's house to get the autographs. Photos revealed he showed up with a box of merchandise, as those on Facebook questioned and criticized the fan for not respecting Rey's privacy, with some even calling the fan out for stalking. On AEW Dynamite, a commercial for Domino's Pizza aired right after Nick Gage used a pizza cutter as a weapon on Chris Jericho. This garnered a response from a Domino's spokesperson, as they said Domino's was not involved nor had any foreknowledge of the gory scene on the AEW Dynamite main event Wednesday night that showed wrestler Nick Gage apparently slicing Jericho's head open with a pizza cutter. "We share the concerns expressed about the incident and the content of this TV-14 rated program and are assessing our advertising presence on it going forward." Now it's being speculated that WWE played a role in sponsors for TNT/Warner Media being contacted, with Dave Meltzer noting, "Domino's is a major sponsor of TNT and Warner Media programming, so this is a serious issue. There was a concerted campaign to contact sponsors, but at press time, Domino's was the only one that has reacted to the match." Voices of Wrestling would comment on the matter, further writing, "I don't know about that, but they've been calling journalists in hopes the story picks up steam. So far it hasn't, nor has any advertiser, including Domino's, pulled any money off the table as far as we know. Sure feels like all of this will amount to nothing." Then David Bixenspan wrote an article about this, saying, according to a screenshot shared with Babyface v. Heel, a reporter from a mainstream publication, in reaching out about the story, explicitly said that WWE had contacted them about writing an article on the Domino's AEW situation. As a condition of being able to get the screenshot in the first place, I did agree to withhold identifying information about the reporter who sent the message, who does not specialize in professional wrestling coverage. There is also a trending post on Reddit regarding the author that published the statement from Domino's. The journalist who quote-unquote broke the Domino's AEW story has never tweeted or posted anything about AEW before Thursday, but has been tweeting positive stories about WWE for over a decade. After returning to NXT as the right-hand man to William Regal, the general manager, Samoa Joe is set to compete at TakeOver 36 on August 22nd, where he will face Karrion Kross for the NXT title. On After the Bell, Joe revealed the process he went through to get medically cleared to compete. I kept it simple. It was just getting healthy. A lot of times people have a tendency to overcomplicate their problems and make them worse, and adding to them by adding extra pressure. My focus was simply to just get healthy. No other expectations to put on it, no expectations to return to the ring. No expectations other than getting back to where I should be and getting my brain healthy and my body healthy. That was my main focus. I told people around me that was my approach. See how my body came along, see how I felt, be careful with it, take extra time and really concentrate on getting better. That was my main focus and what helped me. I wasn't thinking about, man, will I ever be back in the ring? A lot of it was having the hindsight and seeing others I knew going through similar struggles and gathering the wealth of knowledge and taking the doctor's advice and asking a lot of questions from others who have dealt with it throughout their career and making the best health decision for me. Once we got through that process and got comfortable with that, we started concentrating on getting back in the ring and finding the best ways and opportunities. During that entire time, I like to keep busy, and I'm never one to shirk away from work. When the opportunity came to do commentary and to do a panel or other things, I jumped at the chance. It was a much worse type of injury than I had dealt with before. It scared me. It scared a lot of people I cared about. It became very easy to make that the focus as far as what I wanted to do when I came back. Inevitably, it all hinged on me making sure I was all right and feeling good, and when I came back to the ring, I didn't want to come back in a 70% or 60% capacity. I wanted to make sure I could come back and give the best I could to the fans. I do play my cards close to my chest, but that's just the belief I have. With Karrion Kross now listed on the Raw internal roster according to PW Insider, it'll be interesting to see how this match pans out, especially given Karrion's opponent on Raw, Jeff Hardy, had tested positive following Karrion's main roster debut match. With one half of the women's tag team champions Natalya suffering an ankle injury on Raw, Post Wrestling has reported that WWE is going to provide an update on the status of Natalya and the women's tag team championships that she and Tamina are in possession of. The number one contenders to the titles are Shotzi, Blackheart, and Nox. Natalya had surgery yesterday, with Bret Hart confirming this and wishing his niece a speedy recovery. When it comes to the reason given for Wyatt's release, Dave Meltzer said Wyatt was told by John Laurinaitis that his release was due to budget cuts. He was preparing to return. It was even said that Wyatt was creatively frustrated, as Fightful noted, when things were passed his way that he wasn't necessarily keen on. I don't want to say vocal, but he wasn't receptive to it from the people that I spoke to as well. The creative team had been relayed that Wyatt was getting protective of his character after what were seen as poor creative decisions and ideas thrown his way, though many members of the team didn't speak to Wyatt directly. Apparently several in the company said they had not spoken to Wyatt much lately, and he was never shy when it came to rejecting ideas. Also, Wyatt was under consideration to be released during the previous round of budget cuts, as Fightful wrote. Wyatt's name was actually brought up during another recent round of cuts. There have been multiple wrestlers that were discussed but ended up being held onto. Of course, following the release of Wyatt, Alexa Bliss would tweet, "I really am at a loss for words. Thank you so much, Wyndham, for everything you've done for this company. The most fun I've had is working with you. Such an amazing talent and the most kind person. I'm just in shock." Her mentions were loaded with hateful replies, which caused Alexa to restrict access to her Twitter account. And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.